Ben in the year 3212. I've come back from the future to tell you everything goes wrong if you do not leave a good ScreenBugs review. They're coming and we need a good review. Need it now!
Hello listeners and welcome back to ScreenBugs. I'm Justin.
And I'm Kai.
And this is the podcast where we usually review films and all of the films we review have or include bugs. But this is different. You know why it's different, Kai?
Why is it different, Justin?
It's Christmas month!
Yay! Get some jingle bells in there.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, for first week of Christmas month, it was my pick. And what I've picked is not a film. It's an hour-long special of a TV show that you've already read the title. It's The Runaway Bride, which is the Christmas special for Series 2 of Doctor Who. Kai, you're not that big into Doctor Who, really, generally, are you?
I used to be when I was younger, so kind of like David Tennant, Christopher Eccleston, Matt Smith. I was really into it, and then it was something I watched with my dad, and then I just stopped doing it, and then over time I got less and less interested in it. So I was interested this week when you said, guys, we're going to do something different. I want us to do a Doctor Who episode, because I know you're a big Doctor Who fan. So is Ben, but Ben's not here. After last week, he shrunk. He's not come back to full size yet.
We are joined by a little...
He's looking at that pad.
I don't think... Mary!
You didn't press anything.
It didn't work.
We're joined by a jolly fellow this week.
Anyway, I'll try and do a voice effect. Anyway, had you seen this episode before?
Not to my memory. And I want to say, I will treat this as my first watch. How many times have you seen this one?
Genuinely countless times.
Is it an every year kind of watch? Or?
Not every year, but generally, Doctor Who since 2005 at least, I've seen all of it several times. It's the general rule of thumb. But I did rewatch it last night just to refresh my memory, and I actually forgot how sick it is. We'll get into what you think, but I thoroughly enjoyed this.
Yeah, so, I mean, before we get into it, obviously we need to do a spoiler warning. It's an old episode, but nonetheless, we're going to be talking about it. It's an entirety, characters, plot, all the important bits. So you have been warned. Go watch it. It's a nice little festive... Well, it's not really festive, but it's a nice Christmas theme episode.
It's anyway. On Christmas.
It is set on... That is the extent of it. It's set on Christmas.
And even the bug thing is just about reaching the threshold with something that kind of resembles a bug.
I mean, the reason we can do it is because the aliens call it the Arachnos.
Yeah, the Arachnos.
You've got Arach in the name.
Arachnos, and it's 8 legs and a bunch of fucking eyes, and the ship looks like a cobweb. Now, first, I want to start this by just establishing I love this episode. I obviously love Doctor Who, and more than that, this is the first episode of Doctor Who that featured Catherine Tate as Donna Noble.
See, I was going to ask that. So this features, is this the only episode that features her, or does she come back at all?
She comes back over a year later, a whole series happens.
Yeah,
because when they booked Catherine Tate, she's a well-known comedian, she's well-liked. They got her for a special, we've got Catherine Tate for a special. She wasn't meant to come back, but a whole series happened with a different companion, a different cast, and then they managed to sweet talk her into coming back for a series, basically. Well, when I say sweet talk her, they asked her, because they were too nervous to ask her, and she said, well, yes, obviously. So she came back, but she was never meant to. It was meant to be the ending.
Well, it's weird, because the whole episode, it kind of feels like it is setting her up to be the next companion.
Yeah.
It's right up until the end where they kind of play that on its head. But the whole episode, because she works really well with David Tennant, I think they bounce off each other extremely well. So I was expecting that whole time, okay, he's going to be like, come with me. And she's going to be like, well, why not? And then, but they don't do that. And I was very surprised by that.
That's it. And I'll give a little context to, we won't go into it too much, but when the series after the next one starts, it starts following her. And she's, there's been some time that's passed, and she regrets not going.
Oh, I see.
So she's actively searching for the Doctor, trying to get herself into trouble so that she'll run into her, which is a good thing.
That's a good workaround to it. But yeah, so this episode is called The Runaway Bride for good reason, because we start off, don't we? We start off in a lovely wedding
of Donna and Lance.
And she's walking down the aisle and gets completely evaporated.
And one of the silliest looking effects I've ever seen.
This episode is I can't tell the tone of this episode, to be honest. And I feel it's a bit inconsistent. but it was nicely silly in places, I think. And I don't know if that's intentional or not.
Well, I think it's a fair thing to say for most of Doctor Who that it's tonally inconsistent.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of part of the charm of it. This episode very much so, because you get some really dark moments
Well, that's
and
what I'm
some
talking
super
about.
silly moments.
Like, there's a bit later on where we have a really silly moment followed by, I'm going to say, the kind of darkest point of the episode. And it was a big jump for me. But yeah, Catherine Tate gets eviscerated.
Yes. It's the delayed scream for me. The effects happen. Everyone can see these particles. Then she's like smiling and
happened to someone I knew once, actually. Crazy wedding.
well, it's quite common actually. Yeah.
This time of year especially.
What do we think of the main cast of not just David Tennant and Catherine Tate, but like the guy who plays Lance and maybe the family? What is your opinion on the cast in general?
Well, this is a fairly weird episode actually, because there's probably only about 4 characters.
Yeah, 4 primaries.
And it's mostly just Catherine Tate and David Tennant who work really nicely together.
Amazing together, yeah. Especially because up to this point, again, Catherine Tate is known as a comedian, a comedy actress, and there's a lot of comedy in this episode, obviously, but you do see different sides to her, which are explored more when she gets her own series. She gets some really dark, emotional moments, which she does great with. But Catherine Tate in Doctor Who was interesting because it was when she started to be seen as more than just a comedy actress.
Yeah.
Which I really liked.
I mean, her character of Donna plays off the Doctor really well with the fact that...
She hates him.
Well, I mean, one, she doesn't like him, and two, like, she's a very... Without being in a mean way, she's a very standard person.
Yeah.
She's very normal, and that's the point, because the Doctor's really weird, and she is the whole time being like, "You're weird, mate." I'm pretty sure she does say that to him at some point.
Thing. There's a long history in Doctor as well of companions in the old show and the new show of the companions are being people who are like wowed by the Doctor and like so.
She's almost a straight man in this scenario, whereas like the weird stuff that the audience is used to, she's like, "What the fuck is going on here?" You know, there's a big spider.
That's it. I think it's what one of the things that the Doctor's also, and as you can tell from the context of this episode, the Doctor literally the episode before has just lost a really close friend and love interest.
Is that the episode before?
The episode right before. He loses someone forever who he loves and who he had not just a friendship with, but also a love interest, and they're gone, and he is mourning that, and suddenly Catherine Tate's in your shit.
That's what I mean. It's very interesting. Is it the last episode of the season?
Yeah, so the last episode of the season I just gone was that Lost, and this is the Christmas special coming right after the same year.
So yeah, it's very weird to suddenly kind of introduce a new character.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to kind of almost set it up as a companion right after we've lost. And they acknowledge it because she finds, what is it, a jacket or something?
Yeah, a jacket.
She's like, you've done this before. And David Tennant looks absolutely devastated, but you know.
And he's going along with it, and he laughs sometimes and he has some fun with it. But he's a mix of like baffled, and you can see that his mourning process has just been interrupted.
There's a sadness in his eyes throughout this episode, I think.
And every time it's brought up or it's mentioned, and
don't say it, Justin. You can't be saying it.
I really like his last lines to Donna.
But we'll get to it. Sound the alarm. What did you just press?
Monster effects. It didn't work.
Oh, I'm sorry. There was an effort made. But yeah, so the episode kind of... The pacing's very quick in this episode, because we have the abduction. He takes her to, this Christmas market, because the TARDIS is all fucked up. And we get introduced to... the Santas.
The robot Santas, yeah.
Is that the first time we've seen them?
Second time. The first Christmas special of Modern Doctor Who, which was the year before, also had them.
Okay, because it does feel like something that they've seen before, because the way they talk about it is very casual. But to me, who's not seen that, I was like, what the fuck? And like, because it's very silly, because you've got these silly Santas in masks, and they point a tuba at the Doctor, and I'm meant to be like, oh, are they going to shoot him with a tuba? But obviously, if we've seen them before, they are. So
that's the thing, because I remember very vividly watching this, because I believe I watched this episode before I watched the first one, right?
Okay.
And I remember very vividly, and even now, I think those robot Santas are a lot scarier than they really ought to be. Like, they're really eerie.
They're quite uncanny. They're a mixture of actually fairly silly, but and you kind of look at them for a while and you go, okay, I'm a bit unsettled by that now. And like, sadly, I prefer how they look to how the actual robots look.
Yeah. I think the Santas they just look a bit. Again, it's just the smiley faced uncanniness is a freaky.
It works to its advantage. And again, it's this weird thing with the episode of it's very silly, but there are some moments of kind of darker bits and stuff like that. It's very jarring.
Yeah.
To say the least, but I did enjoy it. There's a certain charm to it, I think.
Yeah, I think it represents. I think it's one episode again. It represents the what's the word? Just the insane tonal flip flopping of Doctor Who as a show.
Yeah,
how you can go from like a dramatic masterpiece, almost like an art house looking film about grief, and then you'll go to like, I don't know, like babies in space and a boogie monster, and those are two episodes that actually exist of Doctor Who.
No, you're joking. Yeah. You're not serious. There's not babies in space.
There's an episode called Space Babies.
No, they're fucking
where the Doctor and companion goes to a spaceship, and the spaceship's run by babies who can talk, and the monster, which is the lower floor of the ship, is the boogie monster who wants to...
You're yanking my chain, pal.
This is a
That's
genuine...
not real.
Google on your phone right now, Doctor Who Space Babies. And there's a little scene where the Doctor starts trying to talking to the kids about the boogie monster, trying to scare them. They all start crying, and the Doctor just starts bursting out laughing.
They're all in buggies. It's like the Daleks, but if they were babies.
It's amazing.
Oh, it's recent Doctor Who as well. Okay, damn,
this wasn't that long ago.
Fucking hell, writer's room, like
By the way,
Babies
and again,
in space.
Same writer who wrote this very episode.
You're fucking joking. Oh my god, that's crazy. Very interesting, to say the least. Again, tonal stuff. But yeah, we have this Christmas market. And I really like when we get the backstory for Donna and Lance and the whole reason behind their wedding. And this genuine, really like comedic bit of her telling the story and it cut into what actually happened.
A lot of this episode feels like a sitcom.
It does. No, it's shot like a sitcom. It feels like proper comedy writing.
It's the things about when they're like they're trying to call a taxi and all these cars are driving past saying like... what are they saying? Like one of them's
they're shouting at Donna like silly things.
You're not fooling anyone, mate. And she's like, they think I'm in drag.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That line specifically did make me laugh.
It's brilliant.
It's what I mean. And then it's crazy. I did enjoy it. It happened it kind of happened. It happened to me. I didn't watch it. It happened. If that makes sense. Like the viewing, I was very much like, okay, this is happening. Okay, this is happening now. Okay. This is happening.
How did this... So obviously you are obviously familiar enough with Doctor Who, but not like, I guess, deeply. Obviously for me, this is something that comes right off the back of a companion, a secondary cast member who is just in love with the Doctor, so in sync with the Doctor. But this obviously is a character that, especially for the first half of this episode, is actively trying to get away from the Doctor. She doesn't want to be in this situation where she's relying on him. How does that dynamic work for you as someone who's like fresh into it? You've not been watching Doctor Who lately. Like, how does that feel?
Really fun. Yeah. Actually, really enjoyable to see. Because I'm familiar with Doctor Who and like, I got to say, companions that are just like, oh, I love you, Doctor. I'm going to take you anywhere. They get a bit stale. Yeah. Whereas this, it's very interesting to see someone who like, she's like his foil. Yeah. Almost. He'll say something weird and she'll just say, what are you talking about? But then she'll say something very ordinary and he'll be like, what are you talking about?
It's almost like having someone who's never watched Doctor Who sit down and watch Doctor Who. They speak like Donna.
I'm your Donna this week, Justin. You're the Doctor. I'm your Donna this week.
Oh, it's so... it makes me so happy because there's a lot of sleep. Here's one thing I want to ask about. I was going to mention it before, but how do you feel about the performance of Lance's character? Do you have any thoughts?
His performance is a very interesting one. He feels out of place. He feels very out of place as a character. He's not what I expect because, like, when he's first introduced to him, he's just the husband to Donna, and we get a bit of backstory, and he's just their co-worker. And as we get into this episode, he just becomes more and more of like a cartoon, like a sitcom character.
That's what I mean. I feel like there's obviously a lot of silly moments with the main cast. Like Catherine Tate and David Tennant.
Those when it's just them, that works really nicely.
There's a bit more nuance to it. I feel like Lance's actor, and I'm sure he's a great actor, right? He's acting like it's a bit theatrical, or like it's a CBBC show.
Yes, that's how to put it. CBBC show is exactly how.
And in a BBC drama, even if it's a silly one, there's some silly moments, some whimsical characters. The other actors, there's a bit more nuance to the performance. They're not. it seems to me like the guy playing Lance is like, oh, this is Doctor Who. It's the family show. I can, and
it's the Christmas special kind of thing. We can cater this.
And he's acting like that. You can tell he's acting. It's less natural than the others, which is one thing that I'd forgotten. I only like really realised watching it back, and that sort of grated on me a bit because other than the main cast and like the Rachnos, he's like the other main character,
and he feels out of place.
He feels out of place. He doesn't like the Donna and Lance don't have good chemistry.
No, for two people who are getting married, and obviously I know it's revealed later that that's not a genuine marriage. As soon as that twist is revealed, he becomes like this cartoon fucking mustache twirling villain.
My favourite part was his maniacal villain laugh after revealing himself.
Yeah, it's and obviously this kind of CBBC. I think you've put it really nicely there. It's really evident in when Donna returns to her family after running away, the Runaway Bride episode. And there's this moment where she starts they're like, what's going on? And she starts crying, and she looked at the doctor and like does a cartoon like wink. And
even for her character, it feels quite natural.
It does, for her, it feels right. And this whole scene is very weird. And then we get reintroduced to the robots, and we get this bit with the Christmas tree. When they have the robots pull up once again, and they have this fucking like Xbox 360 controller painted grey with a big red button on the middle.
It's just like sci-fi core. Like that's what it is.
It is, but it feels like it doesn't feel like modern sci-fi. That feels like something you'd see in like the 60s, the older Doctor Who,
like,
or like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Star Trek's too modern for something like that.
Yeah, like you can't just pull up with a painted Xbox 360 controller and then tell me that there's explosive baubles on the Christmas tree. Which
somewhat David Tennant in a pinstripe suit holding this silly little device from Fortnite. Like honestly, and also the CGI of like the baubles and stuff.
It was a little bit naff, but I did not enjoy it. I was like the baubles are fine off these. There's people diving out of the way. I'm like, this is crap, but I'm having fun.
That's it.
I'm having fun because of it.
It's not the. But the thing is, I was going to say, it's not like the deepest, most dramatic or high stakes thing, but that's the thing. Again, there's some genuinely really dark. Like when they are in that scene and people are dancing, the Doctor just sort of watching, brooding from the side, and he sees someone dancing a certain move, and you get a flashback cut of him dancing with Rose the previous series.
Well, that's what I mean. You can't then have this really emotional moment, and then this guy rocks up. The Christmas tree's going to explode, and it's like how can we? I feel like they had the episode, and they were like, how can we make this Christmas? Yeah. And then some guy who's clearly off his tits on whatever he can get his hands on, he's like, what if the baubles exploded on the tree? And they were like, that's brilliant.
That'll be Russell T. Dave.
That's Russell T. Dave. He's got like a massive boof in his mouth.
And then the baubles will explode. It'll be absolutely brilliant. That's my impression.
And they go, Russell, we're giving you all the money the BBC has to offer.
And they actually probably did.
Yeah, I know.
And it probably paid off as well. I just love as well when he's like saying to the Santas, like, if you're going to attack a Amazonic screwdriver, one thing you never want to do is let him near the sound system.
And he just plugs his screwdriver in and it just blasts the bass. And I did like the effect here of the robots actually coming to pieces and like falling apart.
But that's the conclusion to a moment that you can only do in Doctor Who. The sonic screwdriver is the plot device.
It is.
It's what it is. But it just, I don't know why it works, but it does, at least for me anyway.
Any situation where the writer was like, what do we do now? Just have him point the screwdriver. Because there'll be like this like really old like rusty door. And they'll be like, how do we unlock it? And he goes, and the door just opens. It's like, that's how it works.
But it doesn't work on wood.
Does it actually not work on wood? Is that an official established rule?
That's an actual established rule.
And they keep that consistent?
Yeah.
No way.
It's like there's one point where he's like upgraded in a future episode and he's like making robots explode and one of them's made of wood and like, shit, they've worked it out. And he can't do anything about it.
One of the three little pigs would be the Doctor Who's like nightmare. I can't get in. I could get in the hay. I could get in the brick. I cannot get in the wood. They should hire me actually as a Doctor Who writer. I reckon we can get the three little pigs in there.
Honestly,
and that wouldn't be out of place.
We will be the producer of Doctor Who.
And we'll be doing random shit like that.
There's another thing that's again interesting, just to point out as an element of Doctor Who in general, is this is, you know, robots, there's actual weapons, there's threats, there's explosions happening, there's a threat of death in this episode, even if it's silly. But the Doctor is a character that generally, as a rule, there's exceptions that are purposeful, but as a rule, the Doctor doesn't carry weapons. The Doctor is violence usually, and this is one of the episodes where that rule is broken.
It's broken quite brutally as well.
Quite brutally.
But it's this weird sci-fi balance because you've got these robots. They look like they remind me of the Predator. You know, with their masks on and that. They look like they got Predator.
I don't know what that.
Fuck you.
I've not seen.
Go
Predator.
watch Predator. It's awesome.
Okay.
I'll check if there's bugs in it. But yeah, and they appear, and they had this like tuba trombone they're ready to shoot the Doctor with, and then they appear a bit later on, and they've just got regular like British military weapons, and I was like, okay, I thought they'd have like a sci-fi weapon, but no, they've just got like a regular assault rifles.
And who sourced them? Spider's not.
No, this is what I mean. Who are they in talks with?
And it's in Britain as well. He's not very
where are we getting
things.
these from? I feel like we shouldn't pick apart the logic of Doctor Who.
Yeah,
I feel like that's going to be our downfall.
Our first, I guess, look or hint towards the Arachnos halfway through is that like very theatrical villain voice and a little leg pointing at the
We get
screen.
their lovely little spider legs, don't we? And we have this this bug played by Sarah Parish, who I think does a really good job, and I really liked her. She has a good voice.
Yeah, do you like the voice? Because again, it's very theatrical.
It's very comical, but I feel like because she's an alien and because she's this kind of like big creature and that, she gets away with it, and she gets away with that kind of like.
She's an empress as well.
Yeah, she's an empress. She kind of gets away with this like hissing voice where she kind of like on it like a bug, like proper
really
like
good.
spider does it. I really liked. I really like this introduction of her watching the Doctor, and you don't actually see her. Yeah, there's a build up to her, which I like. And I just want to ask: did the Arachnos appear before this at all, or is this their first?
I don't think they appear before. I think it's just this.
Do they appear afterwards?
No, but there's
Really?
a similar species. I don't know if it's canon that they're a related species, but I think it's very heavily implied. There's like a similar species with a similar kind of performance that is much later in the show.
Oh, okay, that's interesting because the way they end this episode made me think that they would come back later, but I guess they don't. And
Well, I'm pretty sure by the end of this episode they're extinct.
Well, I mean, the Empress escapes at the end of the episode.
But then the tanks. She teleports up to the ship, then the tanks blow.
Oh
down
my
the
god!
ship.
Yeah, of course the tanks.
She's dead.
She's dead. She's fucking dead. There's no coming back. Yeah, we get introduced to her, and then, I mean, the episode's really weird because all the environments feel very bizarre to me. Like you've got this Christmas party, you've got London, you've got this rooftop, and then they go to this empty office building. It feels very regular.
Yeah.
And even it doesn't feel sci-fi. It feels a
Well, that's
bit
the thing,
dull in
they
places.
go to, I believe it's Donna's
place of work,
and then like underground, and that's the thing. It's like and that's another thing about Doctor Who. It's a lot of real world places and people, and then it's what's underneath that, what's beneath that. And literally, they go to this office building, then underneath that is this more sci-fi, dingy, like bubbles and tanks and
It's
stuff.
weird. It's not very sci-fi though, because it feels like it almost feels as if they used all their budget on Arachnos.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh fuck, okay, we got to set it in an office building because we can't afford to make this like.
Well, this is something I quite like about Doctor Who, because what I say to people when they say, oh, you like Doctor Who, have you watched Star Trek, Star Wars? I say, I'm not really a sci-fi fan, I'm just a Doctor Who fan.
Yeah.
Because Doctor Who sometimes is, but very rarely is it like actual hard sci-fi. A lot of it is Earth-based and quite domestic settings. Like, there's a whole episode later on where Yorkshire is just, no, not Yorkshire, Sheffield is like ambushed by a bunch of giant mutated spiders.
That
but it's
happened.
like it's
that
just
was real. No, that happened. That was an episode of Doctor. That was on the news.
oh shit, that was on the.
Were you hungover?
That was on the One Show, wasn't it?
Yeah, was it? Graham Norton interviewed one of the spiders on his show.
It was the Arachnos.
I did like that with Donna's character, the fact that the Doctor keeps saying about these big events that happen, and she's like, I was hungover, or I was in Spain. It's so good because it's just such a good line, because it really just says. She's his foil. He's like, oh yeah, Donna, like weird stuff, and she's like, no.
She's just a little bit dopey almost.
I love it.
Another thing I love as well is that there is moments within this later on in the episode where she does. She's very real with the Doctor. She doesn't see the Doctor as above her at all.
No.
And again, it's something that's explored later in the show of a character that she is a lot. There's a lot more to her than she's given credit for a lot of the time.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it than other characters give her credit for, because when we get introduced to this basement and all these bubbling tubes and a lot of green light.
Yeah.
They were quite heavy. I was like, they went to fucking Greentown over here, because they go down and on either side of the corridor there's these giant green lights. And we, yeah, we meet Arachnos properly as well.
Although that place with the blue tanks and the green light and stuff. Have you watched the Scooby-Doo live action film? It feels like it's set from that.
It does. It's very typical, like, mad scientist, like, bubbling and, like, smoke, and they've got the dry ice machine in there.
Oh,
and they love
that'd be a crossover. Scooby-Doo and Doctor Who. That'd be fucking brilliant.
Call it Scooby-Hoo.
Oh,
and get it in
that's
there, you
good.
know?
That's really good.
But this is what I mean. This episode's very bizarre in this segment because they get segues, don't they? They get the segues.
I love that moment because, again, it shows the dynamics of the characters. The Doctor's hesitant in this moment because he's going through a lot.
Yeah.
Donna, she's a bit annoyed, but she looks at how ridiculous it is that they're on Segway. She starts laughing. The Doctor takes a moment and he starts laughing, and Lance is just...
Lance is not having it at this point, is he? It was a very weird moment for me. It's not the direction I expected them to take in the episode, and I literally went... because like, I'm not going to be like, you know, but I was watching, I was like, you know, it's just silly. It's a nice.
I just love that the characters acknowledged how ridiculous it is.
There's that kind of recognition of, all right, we're going to be goofy this episode, but it's a fun, and it feels like a nice kind of reward for, obviously the last episode was very serious, very like melodramatic, and it feels like a nice kind of breath of fresh air of like, look, we know what's just happened. We don't want to hammer your emotions every week. Here's a bit of silliness this week.
I think that's part of the approach of this episode is because the last series finale was so gut-wrenching. They wanted something a bit more lighthearted. It's why they would have gone to a comedy actress to be the co-star for it. So we meet the Arachnos properly.
Can I just say, that's a fantastic costume.
Oh yeah. The Arachnos looks amazing.
Arachnos looks so good, and she's got this big red body and
different
legs.
eyes and stuff.
Yeah, the eyes blink as well. The eyes, she's got her set of eyes and her other set of eyes, and they blink as well. She's got these blacked out pupils.
Oh, and the teeth as well.
She looks really menacing, actually. Sadly, she is also hindered by this costume because it's such a big, grand costume, but she can't move.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
And I feel like she'd be such an imposing villain if she just moved around a bit more. I just think the fact that she's static really takes away from that threat, because at no point did I think, look out, she's going to lunge at you.
That's it. I feel like if this was in the most recent series where they had a bit more of a budget,
a bit more CGI.
We probably would have had the Arachnos crawling on their ceiling and stuff. Yeah, and it'd be horrifying.
Try and physically stop the Doctor.
But yeah, it's like you said, you never really have the feeling that, you know, she's going to like run at them or lunge at them or something. It's just very still the whole time.
But then also that's kind of not what the episode's going for. I don't want a horror approach. Like, honestly, if it wasn't a Christmas episode and they did it differently, having Arachnos chase them through these tunnels and have these kind of like claustrophobic, like skittering on the walls and stuff, that could be really effective horror. But that's not what they're going for this episode, so they're not going to do that. So I didn't feel like, while I wanted it, I'm not upset that we didn't get it.
Yeah, that's it. And again, obviously, in the roof of this room as well, we've got this sort of spider web as well. And the thing that links it to this spider thing, again, I like that the approach is to like trap them on the web.
Yeah.
Teleported
onto the web.
But like trapped on this web, and the idea is that the children are going to come up and feast.
Yeah. There's some nice themes on at this point. Once we get introduced to Arachnos, we get this really weird twist of the fact that Lance is
the fake out of the axe.
Yeah, he sneaks up on her with an axe, and Catherine takes like, "No, do it, Lance!" And it's really cheesy because he literally goes to swing it and then goes, "What? You thought?" And it's like
there's the maniacal laugh and like
it's like
it was all.
It's really hammy in this moment. It feels really, the acting from Lance isn't great. It feels like It almost feels like a GCSE acting, GCSE drama. Like, oh, you thought.
The thing is as well, because it actually, in the reality of the situation, it's a really heartbreaking moment, and we see that on Donna's face, because I think this moment could have been a little bit less theatrical, just because Donna's been revealed that the man she was about to marry has been poisoning her for months.
Well, because she says, "Oh, but I loved you," and he says, "That's what made it easy." That's a devastating line. But because Lance is this like mustache twirling kind of lackey, like it's such a weird comparison, because Donna's devastated and he's like, "Oh,"
I just can't. Like, I'm watching this episode, I just can't. I don't see Donna falling for this guy. He's boring.
There is no sense of this was a relationship. It's like Donna loves him and he just hates her. And after this reveal, he's really mean to her and really horrible for kind of no good reason. Like, he talks and he's like, I don't want to be with someone who's excited for the next Pringles flavor. It's like, I feel like he's just saying it to be cemented as evil rather than... Yeah,
again, very CBBC.
Very CBBC.
And he's got this big, great plan. And there's a little bit in the... there's a little moment where we get some good characterization for the Doctor. Because she's really sad. He doesn't know how to approach dealing with someone who's just found out the love of their life is a...
Yeah, he's going through his own thing, but he also doesn't know how to respond to this.
So his approach is to show us something great. He wants to find out where this ship came from, so he's looking back, but he has a scan, he has a screen he can just look at.
Yeah.
And he sort of looks at it and says something like, I can't remember the exact line, he said like, it was too small, I think you're always better. So I think his way of trying to, without being good at speaking her through this, his way to try and make her feel better is to open the TARDIS doors and show her the creation of the Earth.
I think that would do it for anything, really. When my dog died or something. Yeah, but look, the Big Bang, like, you can't, because she says that, she goes, my thing doesn't seem as big now, does it?
Yeah, that's it.
It's a really good moment as well. Actually, really beautiful visuals as well. Also, I think the effects look good here because they're not aiming for realism, so it doesn't look weird or out of place, or the CGI doesn't look crap. It's like, that is good.
It's a weird in-between space where it doesn't look amazing, doesn't look real, but it looks good enough to work.
It looks good enough to believe in the context as well. I didn't sit there and be like, this is taking me out of it. I sat there and thought, okay, they're looking at the start of the universe. This is just how this episode's going now. Like,
yeah, I love the performances in this little part as well, because these are both characters going through some kind of loss and they're both hurt. But they're looking at this thing and they're laughing and joking and smiling, and the performances are just incredible. That's
what I mean. These Donna and the Doctor, when it's just them together, I think that's where the episode's at its best.
Absolutely, I agree.
100%.
And I've not said this, have I? Obviously, I'm a die-hard Doctor Who fan. I've seen it all tons.
You've not said. No, you've not said.
But these two, this cast of the Doctor and Donna, has always ranked as my number one favourite cast of this entire show.
Is that a common opinion?
It's not.
Do people like her in the fan base?
They're usually at least ranked highly for people.
Are they? Is Donna quite liked in the...
Donna is very much liked,
okay.
yeah.
Do you think they'll bring her back?
Well, they did.
Recently? Oh my God, they did! Yeah, they brought David Tennant back and they brought her back.
Obviously, that was a great time for me. This is my favourite cast of the show.
That's nice.
And, it's so good.
He's crying. There's a real tear shed in the studio today.
I adore those. We got 3 specials with them, and it made my year. Anyway.
Oh, that's nice. So they witnessed the Big Bang, as you commonly do on, what is it, Christmas?
On Christmas, on your wedding day.
On your wedding day, on Christmas.
Do the wedding, get transported, go back. They're doing the...
She had one hell of a day, didn't she?
They're doing the reception without her. Then, see the big band, see a big spider.
That's like an average day for you, Justin.
This
is quite a common occurrence.
I've actually got a big band in about 2 hours, so you should probably wrap this up.
Yeah, that's true. I won't hold you. But yeah, so this next bit's weird because they go back because... Lance gets force-fed this liquid, doesn't he? And he's like covered, he's like, and Arachnos has betrayed him. Yeah. They come back. Donna gets captured in a very comedic moment, doesn't she? Which did make me laugh, actually, because the Doctor is screwdriving this door. Donna gets proper, like, comically taken away.
And he just keeps yapping as well.
And he goes, and you've never been this quiet. Turns around, goes... Oh, no, really comedic bit. And it's what I mean. There's some nice humour sprinkled in this episode. And now they're on the ceiling. They've been teleported to the ceiling.
Yes. And they have their big final show. I do like, and it's a very Doctor Who thing, I do kind of like that this final showdown, it's not crawling spider and weapons shooting. It's like an intellectual conversation.
It's like a big chess match.
Yeah, it's a chess. That's a perfect way to put it. That's what it feels
like. Because the Doctor appears to save the day. Arachnos goes, no, we're going to shoot you with our realistic British military guns that we acquired from the British military. And the Doctor goes, pulls out the Xbox 360 controller with a button on, presses the button.
And he pulls, and this massive controller, by the way, he says his pockets are bigger on the inside.
That's a good joke, by the way. That is a very fun, because they talk about pockets in the episode, because Donna doesn't have any. And then the dog's like, I've got pockets. And he goes, it's got, and he goes, they're bigger on the inside, because he calls back to the TARDIS.
Yeah, and he pulls out all of the baubles from the tree.
They're unexploded baubles, mind you, and tosses them off because they're under the River Thames.
Mad
at this
word,
point.
isn't it?
I know. I know. Please don't take this out of context, Justin. Please don't. And blows up the kind of facility and releases the River Thames on. I'm going to say, I think I'm not familiar with Doctor Who. This feels like one of the darker moments of the Doctor.
It is. In all of the fan edits of the David Tennant's Doctor.
That you've made.
I've not personally made them, but they're all on my For You page, all social medias, where you'll get a look of him being silly. He's being silly. Then someone says something to him like, you know, Doctor, you shouldn't travel alone. Then the music stops and goes into black and white, and it's him like looking down whilst the River Thames is going in.
Because
one of the go-to
essentially, the Doctor unleashes the River Thames and drowns a bunch of children.
Yeah.
Essentially. Obviously, they're evil spider baby children, so it's not the end of the world. But there's a really because the Empress is like screaming. She's like, no, my babies, my babies.
Yeah.
Donna looks horrified. Meanwhile, the Doctor he's like covered in water and there is no expression on his face. No remorse, no nothing.
And I think it's safe to say as well that I reckon that moment is why Donna would hesitate to go with him afterwards. Because
there's a scariness to it,
isn't there? She says, you scared the hell out of me.
Yeah.
And
especially after he's been fairly light-hearted this whole episode, to suddenly be like, no remorse, I've killed children.
And I think it's, again, the grief that's within the character, and also the fact that he's tried to talk to this creature who's so determined to do this evil thing. He's like at his limit.
This is like the last resort.
Yeah, and he doesn't just flood them and set the place on fire. He waits and he savours it.
He does. He has a moment, and then obviously while it's all flooding, he has these flashbacks to Rose as well. Yeah. It's a really powerful moment, but a really dark one. I'm genuinely surprised at that, especially considering the rest of the episode being quite tonally light.
And he shows no sign of... This place is flooding and on fire.
He's in no rush, is he?
He's in no rush, and it takes Don having to say to him, "You can stop now."
Yeah. I like because it's weird though, because obviously Donna gets freed just before this moment, and they have this moment where he frees her from the web. She swings down like Tarzan, hits something, and you hear a cartoon sound effect. But it's like a proper like as Donna hits her, and it cuts her and she's on the floor like, thanks, Doctor. And then he drowns a bunch of children.
What's that famous scream sound effect?
The Wilhelm scream.
That's been in Doctor Who several times.
I'm not surprised by that in the slightest.
There was also a Doctor Who game that I'm pretty sure was in as well. There was a Doctor Who game that was like top down. Yeah. You control an army of Cybermen versus an army of Daleks. And I'm pretty sure when a Cybermen die, you hear the Wilhelm scream every single time. It's quite good.
That's what I mean, that you have this really genuinely like silly CBBC-esque moment, followed by, again, murdering babies. It's very jarring, but it works.
And then she demands to be teleported back to a ship. She goes up to a ship, the Rachnos, and then he says to Donna's like, what are we going to do about that? And he says she's used all the human particles, she's defenseless. And then it cuts to military tanks blowing up this ship, and the Rachnos screaming in terror.
Yeah, like burning. She goes, but I love the fact that it's like, this giant spaceship's come down to London, because they always come down to London. Yeah. They have to always come down to London. They can't afford to film anywhere else. Oh no, they've approached the BBC headquarters. How convenient.
That's literally it.
And it's like, how do we stop this alien? Let's just fucking shoot the fuck out of it with tanks. And it works. The spaceship is eviscerated by the British military.
And then we get this shot of they've all climbed out of this building. I think they're on a roof, and you just get this like wide shot of the Doctor holding Donna. They're soaking wet, and it's just this night sky behind them.
It did look great. It's a great moment.
I don't know who directed this episode, but it's brilliant.
It really is good, and obviously it's followed by a really nice moment where the Doctor returns Donna to her home, and it's Christmas time, and everyone's kind of having dinner and that, and the Doctor makes it snow, and are really like, remember it's Christmas, guys. Remember we have to do something for Christmas. And he says, and she's like, "Oh, come in for dinner, have a really nice moment." And the Doctor goes, "Yeah, all right then."
And you're just gonna leave.
And he goes, he says something like, "I'm paid for parking" or something. Goes into the TARDIS.
Yeah.
And he tries to leave.
And again, I think that's a character who is
he's tormented in this moment.
Yeah, he's tormented by loss, by grief, and he doesn't want to form these kind of connections with people. And it's referenced that he did spend last Christmas with Rose's family, but now he's just lost that, and he's like, I don't do that.
I can't
anymore.
do that again.
I can't do
You can't
that.
put himself through it again. It's a real character-driven episode, this. And even without the prior context, you can tell. It's not subtle about it, is it?
Yeah.
It's...
And when he tries to leave, Donna screams, and he comes out like what's he say? Blimey, you're loud.
Yeah, you're loud, aren't you? Which is great. A nice bit of, again, he's like sprinklings of lighter moments in what can be kind of like
which
more...
is their dynamic, which I think is why they're so loved. This is one of the most interesting and nuanced and...
That's what I mean, because sometimes you have a companion, it's like they're just serious or they're just silly, whereas Donna feels like a really nice mixture of both.
It just feels real. She feels like
she
a
does
real
feel
character.
like I feel like I know someone like that.
Yeah, that's it.
Like she could exist.
And we get one of the most, in my opinion, best acted and beautiful bits of actual drama when she's saying, I'm never going to see you again, and they have a little talk, and he invites her in, and she turns him down.
Well, this moment really surprised me, because I genuinely thought, one, that the doctor was going to go for dinner and have a lovely Christmas dinner, and then look at the camera and go, Merry Christmas, everyone. Or that Donna was going to be like, I'm going to come with you now. This is where I want my life to go. And neither of that happened.
Kind of an in-between. She was clearly put off by the way the doctor's been in that last scene, rightfully so. She says, I'm not going to temp anymore. I want to travel, but this is how you live your life, isn't it?
That's what I mean. It doesn't feel satisfying, but it also does at the same time.
It feels right.
It feels like it feels like a just conclusion to what we've just seen. Nothing feels out of place.
And I think it would have been really tragic if, because again, when they put out this episode, she wasn't on board to be in the show again.
No, that's what I mean. It's just a one-off thing.
Yeah, and that would have been
Was this episode received well?
As far as I remember, very well. The thing that was received the most well about it was
Donna.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised. She's definitely the highlight of this episode for me.
Which again is why they contacted her to be in a full series. And there's a book that was published called Doctor Who: A Writer's Tale, and the entire book is like 700 pages. The entire book is made up of a long, like year-long, or maybe even over a year-long email conversation chain between the showrunner and writer at the time, Rusty Davis, who wrote this episode, and a journalist. And the journalist has said, look, I want to email you during the whole production of Series 4 of Doctor Who, which is the series Donna's in fully. Yeah. And I want to just ask you questions and get your real-time thoughts and process day to day, and I want to turn it into a book. So the whole book starts, and you see the writer working things out. It starts with Series 3 being released, and he's like, I've got a deadline, I need to cast Series 4, I've got to write it, I've got an idea for a character. And it was a different character who was similar to Donna but wasn't Donna.
Yeah.
And then there's a moment in the book where he's like, we asked, and we've got Catherine Tate, and he's like, we've got Catherine Tate, and then that whole series changes. He like scrambles his ideas together, and it's a really good, a really interesting.
She's like the glue of that series, then I guess.
Absolutely.
And that young journalist, everyone was Justin Hughes. No, it wasn't.
Benjamin Cook, his name was.
Oh wow, okay.
But yeah, it's just
really lovely episode, and
incredible.
Obviously you have this nice moment, and then the credits roll with a very unsubtle. It made me laugh because you have this genuine nice moment and the credits theme blasts so loud.
And just before that though, there is the part where he goes it again. Then there's a fake out where she shouts it for his name again, and he goes, oh, what is it now? And she just has that one last final, which I think represents the Doctor's story arc within this episode subconsciously, which is find someone, and then he says, I don't need anyone. And she says, I think you do, because I think sometimes you need someone to stop you. But
with that, we end the episode. What a lovely episode.
Yeah.
As
very
well
fun.
Of Doctor Who. I feel like you could watch that by itself. I did.
Yeah.
I didn't feel lost. And I feel like I would say even if you don't know who Doctor Who is, we're at the point, if you don't know who Doctor Who is, get out from under the rock you've been sitting under for like the past, like, how long has it been going on for now?
Oh, 63 years.
The past 63 years. Like, you could just enjoy it on its own. And that's how I've treated it as a standalone.
And again, I feel with this episode, you can kind of watch it as Donna and everything. You experience it the same rate she does.
You relate to her, don't
well.
you? Yeah. You can either, if you're a Doctor Who fan, you relate to the Doctor. If you're a new person, you relate to Donna, and there's a nice, it's that nice back and forth between them. But Justin, it's that time of the episode now where we have to give it legs. So for those unaware, this is our little scoring system. It's bug themed because we have to. 0 to 100 legs, 0 being worm, we didn't like it, 100 being centipede, we loved it. So Justin, obviously you really love this episode.
Yes,
I'm interested to hear what you think.
So when I was thinking about what kind of review I'd give this, I was a bit conscious about, because my brain was going to very high scores, and I was thinking, but I don't know, it seems very high for an episode that's not even, like, it's not even close to one of my favourite episodes of Doctor Who. But I think the reason Doctor Who is my favourite show is because the general bar of quality, the average bar of quality for me and my personal taste, because I love the mix of drama and comedy and the campness and the insanity that anything can happen. Any episode could be any genre. I just love Doctor Who for a reason. So I feel like even the average Doctor Who episode for me is just going to be ranked high because that's why I love it.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think it's the introduction of one of my favourite Doctor Who characters. It's a dynamic that was new and fresh within Doctor Who. There was incredible performances. There's in such a silly comedic episode, it explores grief and loss quite well. And it was just great fun. It was silly, but it was great fun. And I'm thinking like 85.
85, that's a good score. I was actually expecting higher, I'm not going to lie. But that's good. Yeah, I mean, it's a good episode. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't call myself a Doctor Who fan. It's not something I watch. It's not something I go out and watch. So when you proposed this, I was a bit like, oh, okay. Because I know you like Doctor Who. Obviously, Ben does as well. So I was a bit like, am I going to be like in the minority about this? And my voice isn't going to be heard. But watching it and talking about it, I appreciate it a lot as a standalone piece. I think it does a really good job of telling a story. It does a really good job of fleshing out these characters and working with their emotions and their dynamic. My downside is Lance's performance. The silly moments can work well with this. Some of them do, some of them don't for me. There's a couple moments where I feel like it was a bit too ridiculous and a bit too, I want to say the word naff, if that makes sense. But it didn't dampen my enjoyment that much of the episode. I'm not going to leave this and go watch more Doctor Who. I'm very sorry, Justin. I know that's devastating for you to hear.
Next Christmas.
We're just going to do all the Doctor Who Christmas episodes now. But I'm going to give it a solid, 75.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. It was really good. I didn't need prior context. I feel like it gives you all of that. So I think sitting there nicely at 75. The downsides are there, but I enjoyed it overall. But yeah, I want to thank the listeners for this episode. We've tried something a bit different this week. We've experimented. We may do more of this in the future.
Obviously, we've done this.
I know. I bet. And a Kai and Justin episode as well. I love our little episodes together. We always have a great time. So thank you for listening and
buzz off! And Merry Christmas. Okay, there we go. And real quick, if you would like to contact us to give us feedback or request a film, you can reach us at screenbugspodcast@gmail.com.
Alternatively, if you like what you see, find us on Instagram @ScreenBugsPodcast or Twitter @ScreenBugs.